Sometimes the hardest part of the day isn't the morning rush or the endless responsibilities. It's the moment when everything finally becomes quiet, because that's when your mind remembers all the questions it managed to avoid earlier. The decision you haven't made, the future you can't predict, the life you're trying so hard to build. And suddenly, when all you wanted was rest, your thoughts begin asking for answers. If that's where you are tonight, you don't have to solve your entire future before you fall asleep. There are messages to answer, small tasks to finish, places to go, people to talk to. But when the day finally quiets down, your mind sometimes does the opposite. It starts opening drawers you didn't intend to open, questions you weren't planning to answer. What if I make the wrong choice? What if things don't work out? What if I'm falling behind? What if I'm not ready for what's coming? And suddenly, instead of resting, you're trying to solve the next 6 months of your life from the edge of your bed. If you've been there tonight, you're not strange for that. You're human. Because when we care deeply about our lives, our relationships, our future, our minds often mistake planning for protection. They believe that if they think hard enough, prepare enough, or worry enough, they can prevent pain before it arrives. But there comes a point when planning stops being helpful and starts becoming a form of carrying tomorrow before it gets here. Maybe you've been carrying tomorrow for a while now, not just tonight. Maybe you've been holding on to decisions you haven't made yet, conversations you haven't had yet, problems that haven't happened yet, versions of yourself you haven't become yet. And that's a heavy thing to carry, especially when you're carrying it every day. It's a little like packing for every possible weather forecast at once. You bring the coat in case it gets cold, the umbrella in case it rains, extra shoes in case something unexpected happens. Soon, the bag becomes so heavy that you forget most of what you're carrying isn't even needed right now. Future anxiety can feel like that, preparing for every possibility until the preparation itself becomes exhausting. The difficult thing about uncertainty is that it asks us to trust what we cannot see. And most of us weren't taught how to do that. We were taught to have plans, to know the answer, to stay ahead, to be prepared. So when life becomes unclear, we often assume we're doing something wrong. But uncertainty isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're living. No one sees the entire map of their life at once. Most people are taking the next step with incomplete information. Even the people who seem certain, even the people who look like they have everything figured out, they are learning as they go too. Quietly, imperfectly, just like everyone else. There is a gentle truth that anxiety often forgets. You do not need to know everything to take care of yourself. You only need to know what matters right now. Not next year, not next month, not next week. Right now. What does this version of you need tonight? Maybe it's rest. Maybe it's water. Maybe it's a few minutes without trying to solve your life. Maybe it's hearing someone remind you that your future is not a problem you have to finish before you sleep. Think about driving at night. Your headlights don't illuminate the entire road. They only show you a little way ahead. And somehow, that's enough. You don't need to see every turn before you begin the journey. You only need enough light for the next part. Life often works the same way. We keep asking for certainty about the destination, but most of the time, clarity arrives one step at a time, one conversation, one decision, one ordinary day after another. Maybe your mind is asking questions tonight that don't have answers yet. And that's okay. Some questions need time more than they need solutions. Some decisions become clearer after rest. Some fears become smaller in the morning. Not because your problems disappear overnight, but because exhaustion has a way of making everything feel more urgent than it truly is. A tired mind often confuses possibility with probability. It takes a small unknown and turns it into an emergency. It tries to protect you by preparing for every outcome. But protection can become pressure when it never pauses. And maybe you don't need to convince yourself that everything will be okay. Maybe that feels too far away tonight. Instead, perhaps you can trust something simpler. Whatever happens in the future, you will meet it when it arrives. Not all at once, not perfectly, but one moment at a time. The same way you've made it through difficult days before, not because you had every answer, but because you adapted. You learned. You continued. There are strengths within you that only reveal themselves when they're needed. You don't have to carry them all in advance. Sometimes we treat uncertainty like an empty space that must be filled immediately, with plans, with predictions, with endless thinking. But uncertainty can also be a space where new things grow, unexpected opportunities, new directions, different versions of ourselves. The future is not only a place where difficult things might happen, it's also where beautiful things you cannot imagine yet are waiting. The conversation that changes something, the person you haven't met, the ordinary day that becomes a meaningful memory, the moment you realize you've made it through something you once thought you couldn't handle. Your anxious mind rarely tells those stories, but they belong to the future too. For now, let the future remain where it belongs, ahead of you, not inside your chest, not in your hands, not on your shoulders. You don't need to drag tomorrow into this moment. Tonight is asking much less of you. Just this breath, just this room, just the quiet around you. Maybe notice the weight of the blanket, the softness beneath you, the distant sounds outside your window, the steady rhythm of your breathing. These small things can remind you where you are. Here, not next month, not next year. Here. There is nothing wrong with caring about your future. Your worries often come from love. Love for your life. Love for the people around you. Love for the person you're trying to become. But love doesn't have to look like constant vigilance. You are allowed to put your concerns down for a little while. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to rest before everything is resolved. The unfinished plans can wait until morning. The unanswered questions can wait until morning. The decisions can wait until morning. You do not owe the night a perfect strategy for your entire life. You do not have to earn sleep by solving every uncertainty. And maybe that's your reminder tonight. You don't have to figure everything out. Not before bed. Not before next week. Not before you're allowed to feel calm. Life unfolds gradually, and you're allowed to unfold with it. As this moment becomes quieter, see if you can loosen your grip just a little. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw relax. Let your breathing settle into its own rhythm. Nothing is asking you to decide anything right now. Nothing is asking you to prove anything. You have done enough for today. Truly, the future can wait outside the door until morning, and when tomorrow arrives, you can meet it then, with the energy you have, with the wisdom you have, with the version of yourself that exists in that moment. Not this exhausted version trying to solve everything at midnight. For now, let yourself be here. Let yourself rest. Let yourself trust that you do not need all the answers to deserve peace. Wherever you are right now, I'm glad you made it here. Thank you for listening, liking, and commenting. Please share Soul Planet with someone who you think may need it.